Imagine studying for years, sacrificing everything only to face an exam so difficult that passing feels like a miracle. Now picture this. Hundreds of thousands of people take these exams, but only a few will ever make it. So are these exams truly a measure of brilliance, or are they just a system designed to break you down? Hey everyone, welcome back to Projectitude. I am Aditya, and today we are diving into the world of the most grueling exams out there. Tests so tough they challenge everything from your knowledge to your mental resilience. These exams are not just about passing, they are about surviving. Stick with me as we unravel the mystery of the toughest tests in the world. Our journey starts with the USMLE, or the United States Medical Licensing Examination. If you plan to become a doctor in the United States, this is a crucial step. Unlike the MCAT, which gets you into the medical school, the USMLE is what you take after you get into the medical school. This is not one single test, it is a three-step process taken over several years. Step 1 is an 8-hour exam with 280 MCQs focusing on basic science concepts. Step 2 is a 9-hour exam with 318 MCQs on clinical knowledge. And Step 3 is a marathon 18-hour exam over 2 days with 412 MCQs and multiple computer-based simulations. While the pass rates are relatively high for United States and Canadian medical graduates, that is 91% for Step 1, 98% for Step 2, and 97% for Step 3. However, it is a completely different story for international medical graduates, those we call as IMGs. In 2023, only 72% of the first time IMGs passed Step 1, and repeaters had an even lower success rate of 47%. These numbers highlight how difficult it is for candidates, especially those coming from non US medical schools, to succeed. So, why is it so hard? The difficulty lies in several factors. The massive syllabus spans everything from basic science to complex clinical scenarios. The nature of the questions require not just memorization but critical thinking and real-time problem solving. And let's not forget the administration of the USMLE. It is a computer-based test offered through multiple centers at over 335 locations in United States and Canada, with additional test centers globally for Step 1 and Step 2. However, Step 3 is only administered in the United States, making it even more challenging for the international candidates. Next up, we have the JEE, India's Joint Entrance Examination, an extremely competitive engineering entrance exam. This exam is required for admission to various engineering colleges in India, including the highly regarded Indian Institutes of Technology, those we call as IITs. The JEE is divided into two parts, JEE Mains and JEE Advanced. JEE Main has 3 papers testing physics, maths and chemistry, and is a 3-hour exam with multiple choice questions and many numerical questions. And only 10% of those who take the main exam qualify to sit in the JEE Advanced. JEE Advanced is a 3-hour online exam with a strong focus on physics, maths and chemistry, and is even more difficult. The exam is designed to eliminate candidates, not to select them. Roughly 2.5% of the original test takers are successful in gaining entry to IITs. The JEE's brutal prep and fierce competition takes a serious toll on students' mental health. Stress, anxiety, and isolation become all too common. The pressure to meet unrealistic expectations leads to physical symptoms like headaches and fatigue, with many turning to unhealthy coping mechanisms. Moving on, we have the Gaokao, China's notoriously difficult national college entrance exam. This exam is taken by around 10 to 13 million students every year and determines which university they will attend, making it critically turning point in their lives. The Gaokao is a 9-hour exam taken over 2 to 3 days with compulsory sections on Chinese, math, and a foreign language, often English, plus electives in either the arts or the sciences. Students must choose between the arts track, which includes history, political science, and geography, or the science track, which includes physics, chemistry, and biology. However, this 3 plus 3 model restricts the students' subject choices, creating prejudice against subjects like fine arts, sports, and music, and even inhibiting their well-rounded development. The Gaokao is a high-stakes exam with results often being the sole determinant of university acceptance. Prestigious Tier 1 universities may have acceptance rates as low as 1 in 50,000 students, making this exam incredibly competitive. Since the Gaokao is held only once per year, it puts immense pressure on students as it is widely seen as the only way to improve their economic and social status. The intense competition does not just affect students academically but also socially. Students often view their classmates as rivals rather than peers, which fosters distrust and animosity and can strain friendships. Similarly, teachers too are under immense pressure as their salaries and positions are often linked to their students' test scores. The mental health toll of Gaokao is significant. The intense pressure to succeed has led to increased rates of depression, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts among students. Tragically, some students see suicide as a means to escape this overwhelming pressure. Next up, we have All Souls Prize Fellowship exam at Oxford University. This exam is often referred to as the most difficult test in the world, and for good reason. This exam is designed to select fellows for All Souls College, one of the most prestigious academic positions globally. The exam spans 12 hours divided across 4 3-hour papers. Two of these papers focus on the candidate's field of study, while the other two are general papers filled with abstract philosophical questions requiring original thought and critical analysis. Well, the general papers present unique challenges with questions such as what is love? Is there any value in a vicious review? Or even quotes like the problem is a lot of what is called economics is not economics. It is more ideology, discuss. These questions have no right or wrong answers and demand candidates to draw on a broad knowledge base, critical thinking, and creativity. The fifth paper is perhaps the most notorious, with a single word prompt which is given to the students, such as water, style, or bias, and candidates must write a 3-hour essay based on their own interpretation. Unlike many exams, this exam does not have a specific syllabus or formula for scoring. Instead, evaluators look for responses that showcase candidates at their absolute best. The competition is exceptionally intense. As per the previous year data, only about 2 fellows are selected each year out of roughly 150 applicants, making the success rate an astonishingly low as 1.33%. For example, Gus Smith, a recent candidate, highlighted the difficulty of the exam with questions like, can terrorism be justified? Would you have burned Franz Kafka's manuscripts? These questions requires nuance and well-defended responses. Our next stop is India's UPSC Civil Services Examination. UPSC Civil Services exam is widely recognized as one of the most challenging exams in the world, often seen as a test not only of knowledge but of endurance, resilience, and emotional strength. This exam is used to recruit candidates for India's prestigious civil services. This exam follows a multi-stage selection process with the preliminary examination, mains examination, followed by a personality test. The exact duration of the exam process can vary depending upon the interview stage, but it generally spans over a year. This makes this exam an incredibly time consuming and exhausting experience for candidates. While the number of aspirants is lower compared to exams like China's Gaokao, however, the success rate is strikingly low. Only 0.1 to 0.3% of the candidates make it through, underscoring the immense competition and the odds stacked against each individual. This exam is known for its broad scope, covering subjects like history, geography, economics, science, and governance. But what really sets the UPSC exam apart is the psychological strain it places on its aspirants. And this toll is immense. Over 53% of the UPSC aspirants rate their mental health as poor or somewhat poor, and more than 41% report that their emotional issues interfere with their daily lives. As aspirants take multiple attempts, their emotional intelligence quotients tend to decline. In fact, research shows that the emotional intelligence quotient declines after more than 3 attempts due to prolonged exposure to stress, failure, and intense competition. The media portrayal of UPSC aspirants as heroes who triumph through sheer perseverance can add to the pressure, as it often glosses over the emotional and the mental toll of the process. This idealized image in films, TV shows, and social media often masks the struggle that many aspirants go through. So, with all the advancements in technology and the rise of AI, do we still need exams that put so much of pressure on our mental health? Are we pushing our students to the breaking point where there are other ways to measure intelligence and potential? It is time to rethink the future of education. What do you think? Should these exams still exist in today's world? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Namaste.